Playability or realism? Ever since I was a kid, I've been addicted. The word really is addicted to playing video games. I've always been playing them. I was practically born playing video games. My first console was the Super Nintendo back in the 90s. And even though I'm 24 now, I still play from time to time. Not as much as I used to. I used to take it really seriously. I was even a pro gamer once when I was an adolescent. Now I just do it to pass the time, really. And I got really into football, soccer in the US, but I call it football. I got into that like some years ago after I moved to Brazil. So naturally, I started playing football games on my consoles. I started playing PES, and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was really good. It was like a really good illustration of what a football game was. But then later I started playing FIFA, and I've just been hooked onto it ever since then. Thing is, there's an abyss of differences between those two games. PES, or Pro Evolution Soccer, or Winning 11 over in Europe, as some of you may know it. It was always really, really high up there on the graphics side. I mean, the visuals, the aesthetic, the player faces, the stadiums, the pitches, everything. The whole climate was just so realistic in terms of graphics, And it always had so many licenses. PES always had the licenses. They had the UEFA Champions League after 2012 and the Copa Libertadores. You could play the UEFA Europa League. You could do or rather you could buy a separate game to play the Europa League that was licensed by Konami. And it was just great, However, FIFA always had, though it did used to lack a bit in the graphics department in terms of PES, it had a lot more realism, a lot more believability, I mean, you could adjust sliders in so many different settings, and they had clubs and national teams from all over the world. PES, for some reason, only focused on the European side of things, and they don't even have the Premier League. They've never had the Premier League. The teams have always been with different names and emblems and uniforms. FIFA is fully 100% licensed with every single team that you can even imagine. And I recently played FIFA 17 on the PlayStation 4 recently, and it just blew me away, I think that FIFA now, after 17, has officially surpassed PES in terms of graphics, even that. So, in my opinion, at this moment, there is nothing at all that PES has over FIFA. FIFA is 100% superior in every single form, shape, or manner. And the playability of PES always suffered a bit because it was always so robotic. Like the players would be like robots moving around, and everything would be so stiff, so rigid. And FIFA was always more fluid. The players would actually move like real players, and every time you score a goal, it would feel so good. The whole atmosphere in FIFA in general was great. You could play all of the competitions that you have in PES, just not licensed. You could play them in the career mode, like the UEFA Europa League, which they actually do have. They have so many competitions, cups, tournaments, just so many different things that you could do. And I mean, FIFA overall in general is a much better game, a much better football game, or simulator, whatever you guys call it, And, well, that's really all I can say, really. Just a short comparison between both of them. So, basically, that's it. I'm gonna go play some FIFA now.